I'm back. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 25 of the Just One End podcast. My name is Elizabeth Zimmerman, also known as Liz. I'm coming to you from Cochranville, Pennsylvania, where I live with my husband, Greg, and our two children, Eric and Tilda. Today is October 16th, I believe. I can be found on Instagram as Just One End Podcast and on Ravelry as Algebrina. I think that's the whole spiel. So hi everyone. It has been a little while since I've done my last episode. I did one, I think a couple weeks after I got back from Scotland, and then didn't post anything since then. So I also kind of went quiet on social media. And I also wasn't crafting a whole lot. So I'm not really sure why. I don't have any specific reason. I just wasn't being all that active in the crafting community and whatnot. So I'm back at it. I had a friend check in on me last weekend, and that apparently kicked me in the butt to get me working on some projects and wanting to post an episode and all that. I did try to record an episode last week, and I am so rusty because first I went to record it and realized I was probably about 75% done and realized it wasn't recording. So I apparently had paused it and then forgot to unpause it. So that was fun. So I'd say I scrapped that, but there was nothing to scrap because I didn't record it. And then later that day, I recorded another episode and I realized I hadn't disabled my autofocus. So it was like moving in and out of frame the whole time, which drives me crazy. So that one I scrapped. And I just didn't get around to recording again because apparently 3 times in one day was too many. So we're doing it now. Let's see. So stuff that I've been up to. So we did have a really busy summer. We went camping a few times. We always go with my family and my husband's family. We took the kids to Dutch Wonderland, which is like a very kid-focused amusement park in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's really fun. It's one that I remember going to as a kid, so it's fun that I can take my kids to it now. So Eric started first grade this school year, and he's also doing Little League, so he's in fall ball. And then Tilda started a dance class for the first time, which she doesn't particularly love. So we'll see if she wants to go further than this tiny little movement class. It's not even really dancing. It's just like introducing them to the concept of going to a dance class. So we'll see. We'll see if that actually happens. But and then I've been back to bonus track rehearsals. We've got a performance at a retirement community coming up next week, I think. So we're back into a rehearsing schedule, and then we'll be breaking out our Christmas repertoire pretty soon, gearing up for some Christmas shows because it's already October. It's mid-October even. Crazy how fast time is flying. So that's what I've been up to. Oh, I did get my nose pierced. It's really small, so I don't think it's all that noticeable. But I had a work trip to go out to Salt Lake City, which I tend to do about once or twice a year since I work from home, but my company that I work for is actually based in Salt Lake. So I went out for this work trip, and while I was there, I decided to get my nose pierced. So I did that. I did miss Knitter's Day Out and the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival this year, unfortunately. They both occurred, I think, about two or 3 weekends ago now. Tilda had her first dance class, and I already missed the last 2, and there's only 4, so I couldn't miss that first one. They happened to be on the same weekend this year, Knitter's Day Out and the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival. Knitter's Day Out is based in Harrisburg. It's a Friday-Saturday event with a marketplace and workshops, like classes and things. And I usually really like going. It just didn't happen to work out schedule-wise this year. But plan on it next year. It's usually the first weekend in October, and I think they're going back to their normal schedule next year. So if you're in the area, you should pencil that in to go next year. And then the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival is located in Berryville, Virginia. I went last year with my family, I think last year. But again, scheduling. Hopefully next year I'll schedule things better and be able to make it to that. It's like a mini Maryland Sheep and Wool. I mean, it's your outdoor festival, vendors and barns kind of thing. So I didn't get to go, but I'm sure that those who did had a lot of fun and next year. But what I am going to this year, which I'm super excited about, and the reason I'm recording midweek so that I can get this out, this weekend is Rhinebeck, which is the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, which I'm really excited about going to. I've never been before, so this is my first time, which is kind of shameful since I'm so close. I'm like a 3-hour drive away or something like that, maybe 3.5 or 4. But I was able to find a place to stay. My friends from Flying Fibers are putting me up for the weekend. Jerry actually runs the breed barn at Rhinebeck. They're there every year. Besides running the breed barn, they also have a stall there. So make sure you stop in at Flying Fibers while you're there if you're going to Rhinebeck. So they are hosting me for the weekend, so I'm going to stay with them. I don't really know what to expect. I mean, I kind of do just because I feel like I've experienced it through other people, but, this is my first time. So I'll just kind of go with the flow and see what happens. So, so if you do see me though, please come up and say hi. I do have my little buttons still that I'll be giving away. I think there's a podcaster meetup, so I'll probably try and make my way over there. So if you're coming, see if you can find me. Like a Where's Waldo to find Liz. I am also planning to go to Needles Up, which is the Legacy Fiber Arts organized event before Rhinebeck, the day before. I should hopefully be there in time to go to that. I'll just be going during the general admission time. I didn't plan ahead and take off work and actually commit to going in time to get VIP tickets. So, but that's fine. I'm perfectly happy to go during general admission. So so Rhinebeck, looking forward to that. Otherwise, before I get into the nitty content, last thing I want to talk about is the hat along that I'm hosting right now. I kind of forgot about. So last year at this time during the month of October, I did my first knit along as a podcast, I'm pretty sure. And it was to knit a hat during the month of October. We're going to do the same thing this year. I did announce it on Instagram. Good thing, because we're already halfway through. And I'm going to put the Ravelry threads up, hopefully before I get this episode up, because I've forgotten about it. So I need to get on that. So Ravelry threads will go up. All it is knit a hat during the month. Since it is mid-October now, the rule is no whips, but it's no whips as of October 1st. So if you cast on October 1st or after, then it's fine. I am going to change it up a little bit this year too, so that you can do multiple entries. So each hat you knit is going to be an entry. I haven't decided on a prize yet. It may be the Barrow collection of patterns, which Irina of the Flying Fibers crew designed. So I will put all that information in that Ravelry thread. And it'll go through November 1st, so I'll close it then. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We do have a hashtag. It would be the hashtag just1NHAL for hatalong 18. Because we did this last year and we used the hashtag with the 17. So, see, I planned on it being annual. I just kind of started late this year. So, actually, with that in mind, maybe I'll extend it through November 15th. We'll plan on that. So, we'll take it through November 15th. Just knit hats and put them in. Or crochet. Crochet is also an option. Any other, if you want to weave something and make it into a hat, whatever you want to do, just make a hat. So that is the hat along. So yeah, I'm rusty. I'm like all over the place today. Okay, so some knitting content. I do have some finished objects, which I would hope so, since it's been like 2.5 months since I last did an episode. First one I don't have with me because I've already given it to its recipient. You saw most of the half-finished object for it, but now they're completely done. It's the Nike shoes that I knit or crocheted for my nephew. He requested them a long time ago. I got through most of one shoe, and then I went to work on the second shoe, and I couldn't find the flip-flop base that I was using. No idea where it is. I still don't know where it is. Somewhere in my house, I have a lone flip-flop kicking around, but I don't know where. So I actually had to scrap the one that I was mostly done with and start over, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise because what I used before was just a normal cheapo flip-flop. And when you cut off the straps, it left holes in the bottom, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do about those yet. When I started over, I bought still a cheapo flip-flop, but it's the type that had just a strap over the toes. So I could cut those off on the side and it didn't leave any holes in the bottom. So it made for a sturdier shoe in the end, which worked out pretty well. So I did restart them. It really didn't take me that long. I think it took me like a week and a half from the time that I restarted. So, the year and a half it took me to get through was really just laziness, not working on it. I don't have any confidence in my crochet skills, so that contributed. The pattern I was using, I found very hard to interpret also, so that didn't help. But I did, I was going to tell you the shop that I got it from, but I can't remember. So I'll try and put it below. I think it's Beni Style, Beni, which is an Etsy shop. But I'll put it at the bottom of the screen so that you have that as a reference. Because maybe somebody who is more confident in crochet wouldn't be as held back by the pattern. The kind of confusing elements to it. But anyway, my nephew really likes them. I mostly like them. There's a couple things I'd do differently if I did them again, but considering how long it took me to get around to finishing the first pair, I don't know if I will do them again. One of my other nephews said that he would like some, so I may. We'll see. Anyway, so those were my first finished object. My second finished object is again something you've seen before, but I forgot to show you a change that I made to it. So it's the Evelyn Cardigan, which, like I said, you've already seen. It's by Jennifer Wood. This is knit out of Malabrigo Rios in the lettuce colorway. And I really love it as a cardigan. But the new element to it is that I added a hood. So you can see here, this is the sweater. Here's the collar. There was a collar on it that I didn't like. It kept rolling and was just kind of annoying. So I took that off and I knit a hood separately and then just whip stitched it on. So I took the cable that went up the back and carried that on to the hood. So that goes all the way to the front. And then the rest of it is just reverse stockinette, which is the same as the top of the cardigan. I did find a hood pattern that I followed basically for the shaping. I don't love it. I think I picked up too many stitches on the band on the front, so that's a little bit wonky, but it doesn't bother me too much. It served its purpose. I have a hood on it, which is what I wanted. It's not perfect, but it's better than the color that was on there. So, so I'm pretty pleased with it. I do plan on eventually putting a zipper into this cardigan. I think I talked about that last time. It's got two button bands where the design is that it's just supposed to have a button at the top, but that just doesn't suit my body type. So I'm going to take those button bands and do them side by side and put a zipper in. I have the zipper. I took it with me to Scotland and never ended up working on it to put it in. I took it with me when I went to Utah and never did the work to put it in. So eventually I will do it, but obviously it's not very high priority for me. So I have been wearing it without the zipper. I just think it would be a nice element to have to really finish it up. So that is my second finished object. And then my last finished object is a project that I did start and finish since my last episode. So So this is a sweater that I made. It is the Bright Heart sweater. It's part of the Heart on Our Sleeves collection, which I've knit a sweater from before. It has a bunch of different designers in it. This one was designed by Romy Hill. The yarn that I used is Quince & Co. Chickadee, which is a DK weight yarn. Peacock is the color of the main body. And then the accent in the yoke is honey. I really like the sweater. I like the way that they did the pattern collection, that most of the construction is the same. It's just the yoke that's different and maybe a few other elements. This one was a 3/4 sleeve, and it's got a little split hem and split cuff detail that I really like. My only issue with it is that I knit the sleeves too long, so they're not very 3/4-y. And I think, I don't know, I think that they were the right length until I blocked it. And I'm discovering this problem with blocking a lot lately, is I will knit a swatch and I will block it and I will measure it and I will try to knit from that gauge. But when I actually block the sweater itself, it grows a lot more. And I'm wondering if it's just because of the weight of all of the yarn. You know, a swatch is not very heavy, so it's not going to stretch much. But you've got a really heavy sweater when it's been wet blocked, and I think it stretches more. So I don't really know what to do with that other than maybe, I don't know, trial and error and try to account for it. I am knitting more sweaters, so hopefully I'll just learn more as I go. I did think maybe steam blocking would help, but then I'm not quite sure what you do then when you need to wash the sweater, because at that point you're essentially wet blocking it. So any benefit you would get from not stretching with steam blocking, you would kind of lose the first time you wash it. I don't know. If that's something you experience and something you have a solution for, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just figure it out. So I do like the sweater, though. I am a little disappointed at the length of the sleeves, but whatever. There is one more thing that I want to add to it that I haven't gotten around to working on yet. But in the pattern, this sleeve, they put a nice little button on. And I think it would be fun if I made a Dorset button, which is one of the workshops that I took in Scotland, with the yarn from the sweater, and made a matching little button to put on the sleeve. So hopefully I will eventually get around to doing that. I definitely won't get around to it by the weekend, because this is officially my Rhinebeck sweater. This is the first one that I knit with the intention of wearing it to Rhinebeck. But eventually. So apparently I like to say that sweaters are finished and then add finishing touches after, like a zipper and buttons. So, but I'll get there. I think I told you everything about it. Romy Hill, Bright Heart sweater, Quince & Co. Yeah. So those are my 3 finished objects. I've also got some works in progress. I have a couple of languishing socks that I haven't touched. I'm just not in sock knitting mode apparently, which is a shame because they're very portable and easy to work on, but I just haven't wanted to work on them. So hopefully eventually I'll pick them back up again, at least just to finish them. But for now, one of my whips is my stitching. So if you have been watching before, you know I am doing the 2018 Clouds Factory Stitch Along, which is Legendary Creatures Alphabet. And I had caught up through June when I did my last episode. So now I have done July and August, which are in the bottom here. July was J, K, and O, I believe, which is Jackalope, Kraken, and Ouroboros, maybe. And then August was S and Q, P and Q, which is Penlong and Quillen or Keelan. Which are those two there at the bottom. So I do still have September and October to do. I haven't picked this up in quite a while, but usually handling it makes me want to work on it. So hopefully that means I'll break it out in the next couple of days and put some work in on that. Because I was caught up for a bit there, and now I've fallen behind again. And now we're coming up on the end of the year. So hopefully before the end of the year, I can catch up again. And then this is a project I'm working on that is my portable project. It's the easy thing to work on because it doesn't require me to, it's a really easy pattern to memorize, and it's just portable. So I am not really mid-row. I started a row while I was at the movie theater with my sister this past weekend, and I couldn't see. So I didn't actually do any more of the row. So let's undo those stitches. Okay, so this I am knitting from the yarn that I picked up from Ginger Twist Studios. It is 80% BFL superwash and 20% nylon, I believe. I think it was called Good Morning Green, I think. But it's a green and blue. It's really pretty. I really like it. So the pattern that I'm doing with it is I'm doing a shawl called Woven, which hopefully you can see here. I really like the stitch pattern, the texture that you get from it. I have my little Scottish sheep charm there to mark my right side. So it's called Woven. It's by Casapinka. Like I said, it's an easy stitch pattern to memorize, which makes it super portable. And yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. It's nice and it's easy knitting. I needed easy knitting for my business trip, so that's when I started it last month. I had originally planned on working on a sweater, which is my last whip, but that sweater turned out to be more complicated than what I was going for. Like, I needed travel knitting and pick it up while I'm waiting for stuff to happen with this work project knitting, which the sweater was not. So this one has definitely been serving its purpose as the portable, something I can pick up and take with me project. But my last project is my second Rhinebeck sweater, because Rhinebeck is 2 days long. So I figured I would knit another sweater. So I really, really like this sweater. It's called the Bloomsbury Sweater. This is the front. It's got a lace that goes along the shoulders and down the arms. So you can see I'm still working on the sleeves. And then on the back is a lace that goes down the center, which is really cool. And then just ribbing at the collar and hem. So I'm on the sleeves now. I've done maybe 3 inches on one sleeve and haven't picked up the other one yet. I do have until this weekend, so hopefully that'll give me enough time to work on it. I was blazing on this. I picked it up last week, and for the first 4 days, I knit the body. So this was day 1. I got down to where to split for the sleeves. Day 2, I got a couple inches further. Apparently, I was slacking pretty well because day 3, I went way further. And then by day 4, I finished off the hem. And then I put it down for a while, just because I went to Annapolis with my sister last weekend for our annual We Pick a City and Go Take a Tour and Spend the Weekend There trip. And this is not good travel knitting because the lace is every row. There is no not looking at the chart. So I did put it down, but I am back at it now, and hopefully we'll have it done before next weekend. This is the first time I am knitting fully from a lace chart. I'm finding it a lot easier than I was expecting. It's pretty intuitive and easy to follow. On that Bright Heart sweater, I did do some chart knitting for that because the yoke has some charts that were used for it. So that was really my first time ever trying a chart. This one I was just kind of like, all right, this is it. Fully committing to the chart. So I like it. So I think I'm a chart knitting convert. And I will say that my friend Debbie told me about the Knit Companion app while we were in Scotland. And I have used it for this project, and it is fantastic. It is so... My shoulders are all wonky. It is so easy to follow the chart with the highlight bar and the vertical bar. I'm even only using the free features. I haven't even ventured into the paid features yet. And I really like the app. So if you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely check that out, the Knit Companion app. Those are all the projects I'm working on. If you do come to Rhinebeck, hopefully you will see me in both that sweater and the Bright Heart sweater, because it will be done. So last thing I have is just a couple of acquisitions. I haven't been doing a ton of buying, but this last weekend, like I said, I was in Annapolis, and one of the places we went was a farmer's market on Saturday. Which was a lot of fun. It was a really nice farmer's market. It was very small, but it was all covered in one pavilion and easy to see everything. They had some really interesting vendors. There was a local bakery, which was actually what we were seeking out when we found out about it. Like, we went to their website and they said, we're at the farmer's market on Saturdays. So we decided to go check them out there. But they've also got, like, they had a guy who makes artisan cheese out of raw milk, and they had just a lot of local vendors. It was a really nice farmer's market. But one of the stalls was wool. So it's called Shepherd's Folly. And I picked up 2 skeins of this dark brown, which might show up more black, but it is dark brown. This is a alpaca Shetland 50-50 blend. And she's located in Wharton, Maryland. So I picked up that. It's really nice and soft and squishy. I'm really looking forward to making something out of this. It's just so sheepy. And then I also did manage to stop in at a yarn store while I was in Annapolis. There was a yarn store called the Yarn Basket, I think. It's located in downtown Annapolis, and it shares a retail space with a bookstore. So you walk in and you've got books to the left and yarn to the right, which was a really cool setup. But they had some local yarn from Shepherd's Cauldron, which is a Maryland dye studio, fine hand-painted and hand-dyed yarns. And I picked up a skein, of course in green, of their Bliss, which is 70% alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. This is the softest yarn ever. It's very luxurious feeling. I don't know what I'll do with it yet. It'll probably make a really pretty drapey shawl. But for now, it'll live in my stash after I'm done cuddling with it. So those are what I picked up recently with some yarn. One other thing that I did want to show you that I think I may have actually picked up before my last episode, but I think I kind of forgot about it, is a mini spinning wheel. So this is the Electric Eel Wheel Mini, I think is what they call it. It was a Kickstarter, and it got funded, and they sent out the finished product to the backers earlier this year, and then they started doing retail sales this summer. And when they announced it, I was on the mailing list to be notified. So I got the email saying that they were in stock, and I ordered it, and apparently they sold out in 2 hours or something ridiculous like that. So, so I feel very lucky that I got to get in on that first release. But it's sitting on a book because it's very light, so you kind of rubber band it to a book just to give it some weight and keep it sturdy. But the issue that I'm finding with it is that the motor isn't strong enough for my tension. And I'm a very beginning spinner, so it's probably just me. But I need to figure out how I can use less tension so that it doesn't slow the motor down. I'm making it work too hard, so it's not spinning very fast. So I've still got some... there will be a bit more of a learning curve for me. I do like the concept of it. It's small and portable. It does plug in. I don't have it plugged in right now, but you just turn on this little knob here, and that turns it on. But yeah, there is some learning curve for it, at least for me. And like I said, I'm a beginning spinner, so it's probably just my inexperience at this point. So I'm hoping that I do learn to use it better. I am going to take it with me to Rhinebeck and hopefully get some advice from my spinning friends to make it work better for me. So I will report back on progress. I do have some spinning that I've done on it. I just, I'm not super happy with it yet. Oh, there was one more. So I'm not going to pull it out, but this is a sheepskin that I picked up while I was in Scotland too. We went to a tannery called Sky Skins, and so I picked that up. And I apparently forgot to talk about it on my last episode. So that's it, though. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Sorry it's been so long. Hopefully I'll have more content for you sooner rather than later next time. And if you're going to be at Rhinebeck, hopefully I'll see you there. Otherwise, hope to see you on the next episode. Bye.